When Adam and Eve left Eden, the world felt unfinished. The air outside the garden was heavier, less forgiving. The ground was rough beneath their feet, no longer soft with flowers that bloomed without asking. Behind them, the gates of Eden shimmered and then grew still, guarded by light they could no longer approach. Ahead of them stretched a wide, silent land that did not know their names. At first, Adam walked in angry silence, his hands, once used only to name and tend, now felt useless. Eve clutched a fig leaf cloak tighter around herself, her mind replaying the moment of choice again and again. In Eden, everything had been provided. Outside it, nothing was. That night, hunger came for the first time. Their stomachs ached, sharp and demanding. Adam tried pulling fruit from a wild tree, but it was bitter. Eve searched the ground for roots, scraping her hands against stones until they bled. When they finally found something edible, they shared it quietly, chewing slowly, realizing that survival now depended on effort, not abundance. In Eden, responsibility had been invisible. Outside, it was unavoidable. The next morning, Adam noticed the soil near a riverbank was darker, softer. He knelt and pressed his fingers into it. The earth resisted him, but it did not reject him. Remembering the rhythms of the garden, he dug, planted seeds they had gathered, and covered them carefully. Eve watched and understood something new. Growth would now require patience. She gathered water, learned which plants healed and which harmed, and marked the passing of days by the sun instead of by ease. When Adam grew frustrated with the slow sprouting, Eve reminded him that care was now a daily choice, not a divine guarantee. Mistakes came quickly. A fire Adam built spread too far and burned their shelter. Eve trusted a plant that made them sick. Each failure carried pain, but also instruction. They learned to listen to the wind before lighting flames, to the shape of leaves before eating. Responsibility was no longer about obedience alone. It was about wisdom earned through consequence. One evening, as they rested beside their small fire, Adam broke the silence. "In the garden," he said, "we were kept." Eve nodded. "Now," she replied, "we must keep." They looked at their hands scarred, dirty, stronger than before. Those same hands that once reached for forbidden knowledge were now shaping a life from uncertainty. They understood that freedom without responsibility had cost them Eden, but responsibility with freedom could still build meaning. Seasons changed. The land responded to their care. Crops grew, shelter stood firmer, laughter returned, softer but deeper. They began to teach their children not only the story of the garden they lost, but the lessons of the world they were building. Eden had been a gift. The world beyond it became their work. And in that work, Adam and Eve learned